This Hangout is live, and we are doing a poster presentation from Främlingsberg outside of Stockholm. Just get the poster up here. And waiting for folks to rejoin. 1 second here. I don't seem to have anyone else on the call at the moment. Let's see. Sending the link to Daniel, because I don't, as I say, appear to have anyone on here at the moment. Yeah. Let me, call. Let's see. Hi, Anna. This is Joel. I'm I'm back in the Hangout for the poster presentation, just waiting for someone else to join. Okay, so you can see that fine. Then I'll go ahead and start the presentation, or? No, they won't be joining for this part. Okay, excellent. Okay, sorry about that. Didn't realize that you were online, but you are. So let's go ahead and have a look at this course plan. I was teaching a course the last several years, Consciousness and the Brain, a distance course with approximately initial sign up of 60 people, ended up with being 20 to 30 active participants. And I didn't have any control over the course plan because that was set for me by the person who had been teaching the course previously. I wasn't given the authorization to change it. But what I'd like to do here with this poster presentation quickly is go through some things that I would like to do if I were teaching the course again and were able to change the course plan. So let's look at the objectives as they're presented on the current course plan and why I think those objectives need to be changed and how that would be reflected in a change in the structure of the course and how that then leads on to some considerations about the evaluation. So current objectives are to describe and present important problems, theories, and concepts in philosophy of mind, especially questions concerning conscious experience and its relation to neural processes. To critically discuss questions in philosophy of science, to describe and discuss how philosophy of mind relates to other relevant areas such as neuropsychology and artificial intelligence, and to describe how developments in the natural sciences can influence and challenge traditional theories within philosophy of mind. The problem with all these objectives is that they have nothing to do with the actual course literature, which is very much more focused on questions of consciousness. such as the ones that I suggest as being better phrased objectives for the course on the course plan. So I would substitute the following: discussing what various researchers mean by the term consciousness, because that's a big part of the literature for the course. Summarizing key texts in the field of consciousness studies, being able to pull out key points without needing to feel in command of every part of the text. That's very important because many of these texts are very difficult even for advanced researchers in the field, never mind for students. So they need to get comfortable with not understanding everything. Third, to critically engage with the various theories of consciousness, able to present informed opinions and well-structured arguments for or against them. This is, again, it's a basic thing about critical thinking, but in order to really start to have a grasp on the consciousness studies field, you need to be able to do this. And finally, to understand and be able to take sides over such things as reductive versus non-reductive approaches within consciousness studies. I talked a little about reductivism in my last presentation. And more broadly, to understand and be able to take sides within various debates in cognitive neuroscience and philosophy of mind. But that's a bit more in the background. The foreground, according to these revised objectives, is much more about consciousness studies. So, current structure of the course: students write 20 weekly essays, one every week for 20 weeks, based on a different target article each week. Every fifth essay is formally assessed. At the same time, students are asked to comment on each other's work as study partners and to engage in the online forums. But no mention of this is made in the course plan, and so it can't be formally assessed. I was only able to use it as discretionary information for knocking somebody up or down if they're on the borderline between, say, Goldschent and Goldschent. So what I would like to do with the course plan, if I were teaching this again, is to reduce the division into 4 modules. Well, actually keep the division in 4 modules, but reduce the number of essays, and use the freed up week in each module to schedule an online lecture and discussion that would be recorded for those who cannot attend. Because this is one of the things that students on the course, each of the years I was teaching it, were complaining about, that there weren't any online lectures and discussions that they could join into. And I didn't have time for them, and they didn't really have time for them because they were always writing essays. So, the proposed examination on this revised plan is, at the moment, it's 2 of them. It's divided into 4 modules. 2 are 3 points each. No, 1 is 3 points. The other 3 are 4 points each. I would make each of the 4 modules 3 points each, and have, as before, one examination essay. But the modules would be reduced from 5 weeks to 4 weeks. Then with the final week for, as I say, having a online lecture and discussion. And something that isn't specified at all in the course plan, really, and I would specify in the revised course plan, is the grading criteria, where Goldschent, and these are basically the criteria I applied when I was teaching the course. Goldschent is able to summarize the text, pulling out the key points, able to express your own opinions on the text, say what the author does and does not do well. That's the basic thing that everyone should be able to do. Where Goldschent is able to engage with the text on a deeper level, relating it to other texts discussed in the course, and able to bring in at least one additional text that the student finds on her own and incorporate into the discussion in some substantial way. So that would be 3 points for each of the 4 modules, 12 points. Final 3 points for participation in the forums that would become formally assessed, and for the role as a study partner. That would also become formally assessed, where Goldschent would be posting at least 1 question for each target article and responding to at least 1 post in the forums, sending feedback to study partners on a reliable and regular basis. Goldschent would be active on the forums, responding to multiple postings, critically engaging with the study partner's work, complimenting her on what she does well, and telling her what she might do better or differently. So that is the poster presentation, and there might be time for a question or two from folks. Otherwise, we will just go ahead on to my third presentation. I don't know how you want to structure this exactly. So somebody can message me on Skype or SMS me. Otherwise, I'm just going to stay live here for another minute and then close out on this and go to the third presentation. So that is my poster presentation for a revised course plan for the course Consciousness and the Brain. And it's a bit unfortunate I can't hear questions to discuss back and forth with you. But, oh, one thing that I don't have on the poster at the moment for lack of room is any references. I think that would be better to provide with additional material after this presentation. My feeling about poster presentations in general is to keep the content on the poster relatively minimal. So I just have talking points that I can go over with the people that I'm standing around talking with. So I'm going to go ahead and stop that broadcast and go ahead to the third presentation. Thank you very much.